Welcome. This is a re-recording of a session I recently conducted at the Unconference Event in Kochi. Thank you, Rahul, for inviting me and Bhaskar for hosting me. Let's dive straight into the topic of Copilot. Look at the title slide. This image itself is created using Copilot. Many people want to know the prompt, so I have shown it up front. Microsoft 365 has a lot of apps. In fact, this is my most photographed or popular slide. This gives you an overview of which are the apps and what are the categories of work we do. And many of them now have Copilot infused in them. The big logo on top is the Copilot chat, which is available separately as well as inside Teams. Each Copilot is a little different in terms of capabilities. The chat, for example, allows you to refer to 5 files or items. And what can those items be? Different types of files, emails, meetings, and so on. Overall, what are the benefits of using Copilot across different industries and roles and horizontals? There is a comprehensive list. In a given situation, some of them will apply. So now let's look at some common confusing things. What do I mean by that? Well, for decades, we are using software like this. I open a software, I have a set of menus. There are buttons in that. Whatever I want to go there and click it. For example, if I click on this button, it's going to paste. This button is going to create a pivot table. This button will make it bold. This one will left align. So now the idea is simple. If I click this button, it will left align. If I click once, left align. If I click 200 times, left align. So it's predictable action and repeatable action. Keep that in mind. Now comes our Copilot. And now what do we get? One text box. That's one feature, but literally unlimited capabilities. And that's a difficult thing to wrap our head around and get used to. Microsoft has created a long list of prompts. If you have Copilot, you must absolutely go to this Copilot Labs site. Look at the prompts from top to bottom. Just read them. Go through all of them. Bookmark the ones you like. Then go to the bookmark places. And then try it out with your data, apply it to your context, and then you get the benefits. There's another set of similar things called scenario library, where it is not individual feature, it is a set of processes which are divided by function. You choose the function which you are from, and under each there will be different kits available with PPTs, explanations, deliverables. For each process, it shows you step by step where Copilot can fit in and where other components of Microsoft 365 can fit in. And once you find the process mapped to Copilot and other tools, make sure everyone who has similar need knows about it. It also gives you a PowerPoint summary. One slide shows the entire process. Copilot is an additional purchase, so cost needs to be considered. The cost is going to remain constant, but the benefits don't remain constant. In fact, the number of features keeps on increasing. You'll be surprised to know that in the last year since Copilot has come, 222 new features have come in. Some of them are in rollout and so on. But that's the speed of development. And what does that mean? Even if you have Copilot today and you understood how to use it, that knowledge is simply not enough. Someone has to keep looking at what is new, think whether it can be applied to business context, if yes, convert it to an SOP and deliver it upfront to potential beneficiaries. This is typically done by a set of champions. All of us know that Copilot is working like I am. It's my assistant. So Copilot has access to exactly the same things I have access to as a user. And that's important to understand. There's nothing to worry about because as a result of whatever procedures, policies, security constraints you have already established, every user has access to some data, mails, chats, meetings, and so on. So Copilot is going to work only within that boundary. Just because you have installed Copilot, it doesn't have any extra access which I, as a user, don't have. So in that sense, as long as you are managing user level control and permissions properly, Copilot by itself is not a risk to worry about. Copilot will not have access to anything I don't have access to. But people are still worried, saying, okay, this data is now going to another thing called ChatGPT. That ChatGPT is created by another company, right? OpenAI. So is my data going to OpenAI? That's a valid concern, and the answer is no. Microsoft has a private, secure copy of ChatGPT entire system, and that's what is being used in your tenant boundary. And because of that, whatever prompt you give gets processed. It also gets appended with some relevant data. It also looks at responsible AI guidelines. And finally, it goes to Microsoft's copy of ChatGPT, and then you get the results. So your data is not going outside Microsoft boundary. And that boundary you have decided based on your security compliance guidelines. So this concept is called enterprise data protection. You can see the details. I'll give you the link. You can also scan the QR code if you like. So what does this enterprise data protection mean? All these things. Whatever data you send or receive from ChatGPT is encrypted at all times. Of course, it is not going to be used for any kind of AI training. And all your security, compliance, policies, labels, everything is going to be applied. There's another worry. I have created an image or some text and I'm going to use it on my website or my brochures or somewhere as a part of my business. Now, some other company or entity should not wake up and say, oh, you have infringed my copyright, that image I created. That is a gray area right now worldwide, but Microsoft has indemnified all its customers. What does that mean? If there is a litigation against you because you use something generated by Copilot, Microsoft will manage that litigation, including the costs involved. You don't have to worry. Now the question is, how do I deal or talk to Copilot? One concern is, yes, there is a text box and I have to talk to it and I may get some results, but I am finance, I am HR, I am a researcher, I am a teacher, I am a specialist in XYZ field. Will Copilot understand my field? You should not have that worry because it is based on ChatGPT. You know that. And what is ChatGPT? It has ingested and it continues to ingest everything which is publicly available on web. Literally speaking, almost literally. So what does that mean? You don't have to worry whether your subject is understood or not. Let's assume that it understands unless proved otherwise. In fact, I asked ChatGPT, what do you not understand? You only tell me. And it does give me a list. Look at this list carefully. And you can also try it out yourself. Other than this, all subjects are by and large understood. Anything which is behind a login password or paywall is not available for public ingestion, and that's why it may not understand those subjects. So typical prompt should be detailed. I've given a sample prompt here. I just told you ChatGPT understands everything, but it doesn't understand one thing. And that one thing is what you want. And that's the job of a prompt. So you explain to ChatGPT what you want in adequate amount of granularity and detail, and then it will do a good job for you. You may be an expert, you have all that in mind, but a prompt is the only way ChatGPT understands it. You have to clarify what you expect out of it. Otherwise, it'll give you a generic output. So you have to specify, is it short or long, bulleted or verbose, and so on. When we give a prompt to any Gen AI, we just tell whatever we want. But we have to also tell, or rather allow Copilot to ask you questions. It's not that you ask something and it always answers. It may have some missing points. Then it should be allowed to ask you. By default, it will not ask you and give you answers on incomplete information. You never want that. So the best practice is, whatever may be your prompt, just put additional clause there saying, if there is any additional information required, ask me. Then Copilot will ask you only when required. And that leads to much better results. So broadly, there are 4 components of a prompt. Goal. What do you want at the end of it? What is the objective? The context, background information, target audience, all that. Expectations in terms of output. And source. Source means file, connected data, an email, a video, whatever it is. Some additional information where you want the goal to be achieved. Now, what kind of things can Copilot do? There's a left side list, which it works on a context. So, like I said, file, email, chat, something like that. Explain this, summarize this, and so on. The right side list is creative. That means it doesn't necessarily require an input. You can ask it to think and create something from scratch. Both are very powerful ways of using Copilot. And I've seen many people are more on that side or this side. You should expand your way of imagining, utilizing Copilot, and you will get much better results. Now let's see some prompts in action quickly. These are really powerful prompts, which when you understand it, I'm sure you will start using them immediately. Now, all the time we are juggling with mails, chats, all this. So why not ask Copilot to analyze all my mails, meetings, chats, and tell me what kind of work I do? This is not a typical prompt people are using. People are saying, summarize my email, meeting, that's okay. So look at all my communication and give me categories. So I'm trying to learn about my own work, and Copilot is capable of doing that. It's giving me categories of work I do, which are fairly accurate, and it has calculated the percentage. That has already indexed all your data to give you such kind of faster answers. Based on this, I continued the conversation and asked, okay, how can I improve use of my time? And is there anything I'm missing grossly? Because when we are into something as a subject or as an expert, very often we don't see the obvious. Copilot is very good at such things. So it told me some areas of improvement, but it told me in whatever I have seen, there is no project management. That's true. In my case, most projects are short, so there is no real project management tool required for me, but that is a good catch. And maybe I should think about it in future. Then I continued saying, the most common thing I do is workshops. How can I improve them? It's giving me data or pointers about those as well. And always notice, after it gives you answers, it gives me more relevant prompts. All Gen AIs do it, but in most cases we ignore them. It's a very good way of learning. The second example is again an interesting one. I just asked Copilot, which meeting do I have today? And it gives me some meeting details. So now I need to prepare for it. I am not prepared. Help me prepare. Now that meeting request didn't have any information other than the title and few agenda items. But because Copilot already has incorporated or understood all my data, it can fetch or find relevant items based on the meeting details. And it has done that and given me a list of things I should be doing. Now I need some additional thing, top use cases for M365. So I asked it, it's giving me that as well. While answering this, it realized, I have a PPT with that data. So it's even giving me the PPT itself as a reference. And then it knows if this is a PPT, I'm going to open it and then try to summarize it. So it's saying, do you want me to do that upfront? It's doing that as well. So with few prompts here and there, I was actually able to prepare in a much more effective, comprehensive manner for the meeting. So remember, it's not just time saving. It's the quality of output which is improving. And that is intangible, I agree. Intangible benefits are usually more important than tangible benefits or time saving alone. So now it's giving me further details about everything and I'm ready for the meeting. A lot of times we are working on files. So why not work inside OneDrive? So if you go to OneDrive and select a file, then you'll see Copilot button. I have selected a JD and then I'll select 4 more CVs. And now I go to Copilot and ask Copilot to compare these things and find the best candidate. Create a table and give a rating. So here is the rating. It has already said who is the best candidate. And for simplicity, I have copy-pasted the table in Excel. So you can see it better. This can be done for any kind of file comparison across different types of files. It's really powerful. Talking about files, all the time we are spending time searching for things. We don't even know sometimes whether I should search in email or chat or OneDrive or SharePoint. That problem is solved. It is not a new thing. It has nothing to do with Copilot, but it's a very powerful feature. Just go to a browser and go to office.com. and log in using your corporate ID. That's it. On top, you will see search text box. Very powerful search. I've just put the word efficiency there and pressed enter. It searched across all these places in one stroke. All files I have access to, all SharePoint site, all SharePoint news, people means contacts, mails, chats, meetings, channels, images with metadata, videos with the transcript, which includes meeting recordings, and Power BI reports. Imagine. This has been available for last 6 years. So please start using this as the standard search methodology from now onwards. Meetings is another common problem. Problem in the sense everyone does meetings. Time is blocked in calendar. We conduct the meeting in Teams or Zoom or Google. Doesn't really matter in that sense from efficiency point of view, because this is not efficient. This is execution of the meeting. This is time blocking. That part is okay. But there are so many things around the meeting which are related to the meeting. But all these things are happening with reply to all, and all of that junk is going to inbox. One meeting generates 20 such mails. This inefficiency has not been addressed worldwide. And fortunately for us, there is a solution, and that solution is staring at you for years. It's called Teams. Teams is capable of handling all these before, during, after, without sending a single mail. The only thing we have to educate each other about is to stop using emails for everything about the meeting. Go to Teams, it's there. Go to Teams calendar ideally, but if you are used to Outlook calendar, fine. Create a Teams meeting as usual, but don't put the agenda there. Just send the meeting, put details of who is required. All that is okay. Immediately after it is sent, go to Teams calendar. You will see the same meeting here. Open it. Why have we come here? Because this special option called add an agenda is available. Now you go here and put the agenda. This agenda is editable by all the invitees. Earlier they would have sent me a mail, reply all. That's already eliminated. So send it. Now when you join the meeting, the agenda comes automatically. It's under notes. We can edit it. Everyone can see it, add to it, reorder it. We should take notes. Everyone can see the notes. Everyone can edit the notes. All this is happening behind the scenes using loop. So it's a dot loop file. Where is it stored? Well, in the SharePoint or rather OneDrive of the organizer. Someone wrote 4%, someone wrote 12%. Now where is the accountability? Don't worry. Just click there. Wherever you click, it says who has written it. If I click here, it says assistant +1. So click on it. It'll show you both the names. When you hover on a particular name, it shows the word 12 was written by Nitin. And when I hover on the next one, it says rest of the sentence was written by assistant. So there is track changes kind of thing here. Plus 500 versions available. So notes should be taken here. Everyone can see the notes and agree upon them during the meeting. And follow-up actions should also be added here. Put name of the person at the rate mention. Give a deadline. If this was a recurring meeting, this will even carry forward. So everything is now contained in the meeting, which is great. Now when we end the meeting, all that we just saw, you can revisit it. Just double click on it or say chat with participants. So everything which has happened in the meeting is still available. If you want to share something, you can upload files before, during, after, any time. If you had used a whiteboard, even the whiteboard is still alive and usable. So just because the meeting got over doesn't mean brainstorming has to get over. Let it continue. So that's the idea. Now the problem is, I have many tasks, but they are scattered across so many meetings. How do I know? You go to Outlook, To-Do app. And under To-Do app, there is a aggregator section called Assign to Me. So all the tasks which have been given to me as a part of various meetings will automatically appear here. In fact, what we used in meetings was a loop component called tasks. And you can use the same loop component called tasks in email or chat or channels or in Word, many different places. If you have been assigned a task, it will appear here. Even planner tasks assigned to you appear here. Now after the meeting is over, maybe you didn't attend it, no problem. Recap is automatically generated. if you have Copilot license, and that gives you formal minutes of meeting derived from transcript as well as notes. You can ask further questions to Copilot as well, and it will explain to you. Even though you did not attend the meeting, you will still get the hang of it, and that itself is improved productivity and effectiveness. Here I am asking it to create a table of main topics covered and then approximate time spent, and it did even that. So it's really powerful. Literally, imagination is the limit of what you can do with it. So that's meeting revolution, meetings without emails. Now let's look at a couple of more scenarios. Correlation of files. So here I am in Word, but I have a PPT where we have put goals, corporate goals, separate file. Then I have a partnership proposal which I have to approve or reject. And I will do that based on how aligned it is to our goals. So I go to a blank Word document and ask Word to do that heavy lifting, say, look at this proposal and check if it aligns with the goals. That PPT may have 100 slides. I have not said which slide to look at. All that Copilot will figure out. And not only did it figure it out, it created a nice table. One row for every goal. A rating, explanation of the rating, and an overall conclusion. So that's how multiple types of files can be correlated. Another interesting example, analyze Excel data. Now we'll see Copilot in Excel a little later, but anyway, I'll tell you, this kind of data, Excel Copilot cannot analyze right now because there's not raw data. There's sort of an output of a report. There are headers. These are not headers. There are blank cells, subtotals. There is a hierarchy here. So category, subcategory, subcategory. All this is not clean raw data. This is output data, report. Excel Copilot cannot handle this. It will just say, sorry, I can't do it. But does it mean Copilot cannot do it? Absolutely not. It can. So just select the data, paste it in Word. Now I'm asking Word to analyze this balance sheet and look at the output. It will generate a proper detailed Word document. It even created these sections, or rather headings, topics. It automatically figured out what to do. It's saying I'll create these many ratios. It calculated the ratios. There were no ratios in my raw data, input data. And now it's telling me how to interpret these. And at the end, it has also given me a nice overall conclusion. Of course, the final decision is yours, but still look at the amount of time and energy it has saved for you. And now that time which you saved, you can invest in better, more informed decision making. This is not taking away your job. This is empowering you. Now let's talk about creating presentations. Create a presentation about, and now it gives me a separate window. I'm asking to create electric vehicles in India and some details. This doesn't directly create a presentation. It creates an outline. You look at it and say, okay, is there anything missing? If yes, you can say, add some more stuff here about government incentives. Great. It'll do the job. Then you can rearrange things also. And when you're happy with the overall outline, then you say generate slides. It'll go to work. And it created 28 slides. They're already divided into sections, current status, availability, and so on. You'll also notice it's not just text. For relevant slides, it found correct pictures. Now remember, the copyright protection, you don't have to worry about copyright. These are, in that sense, available to you officially. Not only did it do all that, it also added slide notes. So this is the way to create effective presentations. At least get a first draft very well and fast, and then you can continue to refine it. Alternative is to have a file, let's say a Word file or a PDF file, and from there I want to create a PPT. That's another common use case. In that case, you go to Copilot and say create a presentation from and specify the file. Again, it's going to go to work. That was a 4-page verbose bulleted list, but it created 74 slides and also found relevant pictures. Many people think that this is dumbing me down. No, absolutely not. Copilot will in fact sharpen your brain. Here is an example. You remember our meetings without emails option, which we just discussed? I want to popularize it across my staff. I am the CEO. I am sending a mail to everyone saying from now onwards, we are going to do meetings like this. Great. I'm very excited about it. So I am writing sort of an SOP for meetings across the organization. I don't need Copilot for it. I know exactly what I'm writing. Fine. But then I realized that yes, I can send the mail, people will read it because I am the boss, but will they follow it? This is a piece of important communication which is asking people to change their habits. These habits have been there for decades. So can I refine this to increase the chance of success? Now that's where Copilot comes in. Go to Copilot and say coaching. It'll analyze your text. It will not change anything. It'll just give you suggestions. First thing it is telling you is sound more friendly. Basically, it's a polite way of saying you're almost like a dictator. Don't just force things on people. It's taken a sentence which I have written and suggested better variations. What more do you want? Is this dumbing you down? No, this is enhancing your communication quality. Then it's saying, okay, show some appreciation. Let people get motivated for using it rather than saying I'm doing it because boss told me. And then there was a few paragraphs, but people will have questions. They will not know all the details. So add some more details. So if I incorporate all these suggestions, the chances of people following meetings without emails is much higher. Another coach available is inside Teams. When you are in a Teams meeting, you know you're going to present. Go to these 3 dots, language, turn on speaker coach. And then it just keeps quiet, doesn't tell you anything. You continue presenting. After the meeting is over, quietly a report will appear under chat. And that's your speaker coach report. Before we understand this report, first time you are seeing the report, you will see this button automatically start speaker coach in meetings. It's off by default. Switch it on. It's a really useful feature. Whether you are a junior or you are the most renowned orator, you will still benefit from it because there is always scope for improvement. So what is it looked at? 90 minutes of my session saying I have repetitive language 200 times and so on and so forth. Now, what is that repetitive language? Very often subconsciously, all of us have some favorite words. We keep uttering them. So this one I uttered 67 times, 46 times, and it is actually marked where I did it. Imagine. It's not just leaving at that. If I have to use the word also less, then I have to know alternatives. So it's giving me synonyms. So it looks at filler words, pace, is it too slow, too fast? Is it a monologue, which in my case is because it's a one-way session rather than a workshop. It looks at the intonation, is there variation or not? And then finally, it also looks at inclusivity, biases and all that. It's saying don't say master, that has a negative connotation nowadays. Use the word expert. So use this, improve it and keep it on. After every meeting, go and look at it. You will yourself see improvement. And by the way, this report is visible only to you, not to IT, not to your boss. So don't worry, it's a private affair between you and Copilot. In fact, this feature is not even Copilot. This is just AI which is built into Teams. No special edition of Teams is required. If you have Office 365, it's a part of it. Moving on, let's talk about Excel itself. Excel Copilot works on raw data, not on output data as we saw. What can you do here? Lots of things. Conditional formatting, calculated columns, many things. But probably the most important prompt to remember here is put the raw data, make sure it's a table, save it on OneDrive and say add all insights to grid. Means it's like saying give me all reports. What reports? Which you don't have to worry. There is a very sophisticated AI algorithm which correlates all your columns and decides what is important. It even decides the kind of chart it should use for that particular piece of information and shows it to you. Many charts and many pivot tables. All that you have to do is eyeball them. Some of them you already know, ignore them. If you don't know but sounds interesting, act on them. So again, this is not time saving, this is empowerment. You can also ask it to generate complex formulas. For example, I have some text here and I want to do some search. So I'll type some search condition in text box and it should only filter those rows. How do I do that? I don't know. So I asked it for a formula. It gave me the correct formula. And then this is working. There's a specific add-in called Copilot for Finance, where it has currently only one capability called reconcile data. So one sheet has budgets, another sheet has actuals, which is a bank statement. So now if we have to correlate this expenditure under flights category, how much was the budget for that day, and then figure out what is matching, what is not matching, is there a difference? All that is a lot of VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, manual work, lots of formulas. Now look at what it is doing. You go to Copilot for Finance and say in sheet 1, this is the table, and in sheet 2, this is the table. Okay. Now it is also going to ask you which is the date column, which is the category and budget column, and it will match. All this automatically is done. If I want to, I can override it manually. And that's it. It created a nice reconciliation report showing matched and unmatched transactions. Also the difference. That's not all. It's giving me an interpretation of it in text. And I can add it at the bottom and make a full-fledged report for reconciliation. Now let's talk about surveys and quizzes. Basically MS form. In both of them, we have Copilot now. So I'm going to create a new form and I'm asking it to create an employee survey for hybrid work and given some more details. If you don't specify a number of items, then it'll generate some number which it feels is adequate, typically 5 to 10. It will decide what type of question, how many options to give, single select, multi-select. It's very smart. And if it is not adequate for you, you can continue to iterate and get whatever is the best possible output. After you keep it, it is fully editable, so you can add or edit anything. Here is another example, but this time I'm creating a quiz for Excel, multiple choice, and I want it to be high level of difficulty. Sure, it created 15 questions because I asked. Not only that, it has given explanation, which will be shown after the answers are submitted. Amazing stuff. Whiteboard is an ignored product because many people don't even know that it's a part of Teams. How many Teams meetings have you used Whiteboard? Ask yourself. Whiteboard is an amazingly capable application. It deserves to be used more often. Now, why do we use whiteboarding? Very often for brainstorming, ideation, and sometimes the ideas are not coming. No problem. There is Copilot. Ask Copilot. It will generate ideas. And when you insert, it will not insert it like a bulleted list. It will create a sticky note grid. And remember, this is happening in a meeting, so you can now allow participants to vote for it. And in an open, transparent manner, we didn't just ideate, we actually got a consensus. That's great. Another new feature which came a couple of weeks back is Copilot Pages. By now, you must have understood that the most powerful Copilot capability is Copilot Chat, because it has access to all the data and it can talk to at least, and it can refer to up to 5 files in one prompt. But the problem with that is the output is not editable, and I'm going to create lots of chats over time. I want to search for a chat I did 1 month back. I'll have to scroll. There is no search page. So now there is a new feature. You're working on chat, you got some output. So I'm asking it to give topics for training on word dictation. It has given me that. But below it is giving me another option, facility called edit in pages. Now where are these pages? Right now there is no page associated. It will create that page and dump this output. Now it is editable. The references are still maintained. So this is called Copilot Pages. Now what are these pages? These are basically loop pages. It's a good idea to rename them. And because these are loop pages, go to empty area and press /. You can use all the loop components. If you don't know what is loop, have a look at this video. In fact, I have another video which talks about every type of loop component as well. Another common problem, when Copilot output is a table, the table is not editable, and when you copy paste it, it shows you some asterisks and so on. Now if you put it here by saying edit in pages, it is a proper table and it is editable. You can even add or delete rows, columns and so on. Finally, when the page is ready, why are we doing it? Because it's a collaborative thing. We have a team of people who are creating content for training, And this is just one part of it. So I need to share it with people. Page link, specify what kind of editing they can do. And now the other party can also open it simultaneously, literally work together. Like we do co-authoring for Word or PowerPoint, same thing is happening in a loop page now. Now this content for dictation feature is ready, but we are going to create a lot of similar content for different topics. So where will all these pages be scattered? No, I want a container for it, which is called a workspace. So I created a workspace and then put this page inside it. All future things I create also I'll put as pages here. So we started in an unstructured manner and ended in a more organized way. Power Automate is automation without programming. We call it low code, no code automation. Now it's a rather complex topic to learn because there are lots of applications, triggers, actions, conditions and all that. But now we have Copilot. So all that you have to do is describe in simple language what you want. So I'm going to get responses to some RFP I've floated. That will come as mail with attachments. And this RFP ID will be in the subject. I want to detach the attachments and store in OneDrive. Fine. Let Copilot do all the heavy lifting. It'll show you the overall structure. If you accept it, go ahead, connect, and now the flow is ready. It has created the correct trigger. It has also put correct conditions. And only thing it wants to know is what is the folder path and what kind of file names I want to give. So now I am asking it, populate the file name and file content from the previous step because you already know the name of each attachment. Okay, so it does that as well. I specify the path and my workflow automation is ready. It's that simple. Similar is Power Apps, where we are creating proper apps without writing a single line of code. Even here, there is a prompt. So I'm going to ask it to create an app where I'm going to maintain my social media content calendar. By just saying that, it figured out what are the columns required and showing me some samples. I need not accept this table structure as it is. I can say add some more, delete. And when I'm happy with it, create app. So right now I have a lot of columns. It's just a sample table right now. Create app will actually go to the Power Apps editor and generate an entire app for you, where you can add a new entry, edit an existing entry, or delete an existing entry. So add, update, delete, everything is taken care of. Now maybe I want to refine something here saying this background color should be yellow. Okay, it did that. Now I didn't like it. So there is an undo button as well. Gone. Now this is the same app running. I can do editing. I can add. This form also was generated automatically. I want to see how this looks on mobile. It's all responsive. So choose a mobile form factor and the same app or form renders here. Amazing stuff. As though all this is not enough, there's Copilot Studio, which allows you to extend, means add more capabilities to Copilot based on your data, your systems, and so on. And in Copilot chat on the right side in this pane, you will see create agent. Again, this whole process is creating a chatbot from some data or information which you already have. These could be HR policies, technical documents, regulatory volumes, whatever. So I'm saying in my Copilot or a chatbot I'm generating right now, I want people to understand the SOPs I have created for efficiency, like the one we did earlier, Teams meetings without emails. Then I'm saying how it should provide the guidance, what should be the tone, all that. Then it says, okay, I understood. Now give me the data. So I can either give a SharePoint site, but in this case I have files. So I'll just go to browse, go to a SharePoint folder where I put 20 SOPs. These are the SOPs. So it understands it, analyzes that set of data or files and creates some sample startup prompts as well. These are based on our data. If you want, you can also add or modify. Then you can test it. As a prompt in this chatbot, I said Teams meeting. That's it. It figured out that there is an SOP for Teams meeting management. It's giving me the bulleted list as expected. And now when you are happy with it, you can share it also with people. I'm doing this for everyone. And then everyone will see this here as Office Efficiency SOP Guide. When you click on it, It will only work in the context of that data. So here is another example. How to combine multiple copies of the same document. Each one of them have track changes. It is giving me exact details plus reference to the SOP itself. Image creation, I've asked it to create an image of a conference hall and all that. Earlier, image generation didn't manage text properly, but look at this. It's beautifully managed. This is a more business specific example. I always keep telling customers that when you're buying Office 365 or M365, you're getting 14,000 plus features. And most users use a very small fraction, 100, 150 like that. And those also they misuse. Because we are ignoring those 13,850 thinking that what I know is enough and what I don't know is useless. But that's not true. Everything is useful unless proved otherwise. If you don't use those properly, it's literally like tearing money. So I wanted to emphasize on this thought process. So I created this visual. This is a very impactful slide when I show in the context of maximizing ROI from your investment. Another example, I was recently going to conduct a session for CIOs on how to quantify business value of Gen AI. So I wanted an opening slide which shows AI on one side and money on the other side. That's how, in a contextual manner, if you use Copilot for image generation, it's high impact. Finally, talking about adoption, this is a new concept. It's a new kind of application. People have never used it in past, so it requires a more sustained approach. Someone has to learn. Who is going to learn? Yes, people will attend some few training programs, but that's just not enough. We have to talk to leadership and ask them to assign few champions from each department. Leadership will assign, and they will be officially allowed to spend half a day every 15 days to learn about Copilot proactively and then apply it to their business context. If they find something useful, globally applicable, create an SOP, and then the leadership or bosses will share the SOP down the line. That's how you're going to get incremental and sustained value. Based on what we have talked about, these are some of the quick wins, but this is just the start. From whatever we have seen so far, if anyone had a doubt as to whether a Gen AI or Copilot is going to take away my job or reduce my importance, I'm sure it is proven beyond doubt that it's not a competitor, it's empowerment. The biggest benefit is use this Copilot beyond your area of expertise. Wow, what am I saying? You are finance, HR, marketing, whatever, expert in something. Each of us have some expertise. Sometimes you have 2 expertise areas, you have 5, whatever. You will never have 70 million expertise areas, right? So think of other areas related to your core which you're not good at. But Copilot can help you there. If you're a finance person and you're designing something which will have an HR impact, ask HR questions to Copilot. It will answer you in the context of your data and vice versa. So expand your horizon. The more you imagine, the more you break the boundaries, the more Copilot will empower you. That is the real benefit of Copilot. In fact, in many cases, I have seen Copilot being used as a friend, philosopher, guide, coach, mentor, even a therapist. Doesn't matter. Use Copilot to your advantage because it's always available, it's unbiased, and it doesn't judge you. So I hope this has been useful to you. Maybe I have not covered all the questions and concerns you had in mind. In that case, you can post queries. And if you found this useful, please share it with as many people as you can. So that's it for now. See you next time. Thank you.